You're live.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to live for book club. I am Caveman.
I actually don't have a copy. It's
I'm
not
just trying to get the
really-
book. For the Cloisters by Katy. I need to get the questions. There we
I
go.
took my brace off temporarily, so it might go back on in a minute.
So, just in case there are people watching that have no idea who people are, shall we introduce ourselves? I mean, obviously, this is my channel, so I'm
There's
Katy.
my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like. Well, I mean, if they've been here, we all have been on each other's channels numerous times. So if you know, you know. If not, Katy, Alicia, Sam, we are reading by candlelight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Just
Right now, I feels like I need to read by candlelight
Oh,
instead of daylight.
is it as hot where you are, Sam, as it is here?
Been in the high 80s, almost 90s.
Yeah, we're like 90-ish and higher.
Yeah, it's been humid as well, so.
And Katy, your weather?
oh yeah, crazy hot. Definitely. Like we're in need of a thunderstorm. That's how hot it is here.
Even the rain that we got yesterday didn't seem to really help all that much.
Yeah.
I'm just tweeting out the YouTube link. Right. So.
Katy's gonna read the synopsis.
Oh yes, Katy's dramatic synopsis reading.
Yep.
And it's a nice long one, so get ready.
Woohoo!
When Anne Stillwell arrives in New York, she hopes to spend the summer working at the city's Metropolitan Museum of Art. But instead, she is assigned to the Cloisters, the Met's Gothic Museum and Garden, renowned for its medieval and Renaissance collections. There, she is drawn into a small circle of charismatic but enigmatic researchers, each with their own secrets and desires, including the museum's curator, Patrick Rowland, whose obsession is tarot and the possibility of divination. Eager for the approval of her new colleagues, Anne is only too happy to indulge some of the more outlandish theories. But then she discovers a mysterious, once-believed lost deck of 15th century Italian tarot cards and finds herself at the center of a dangerous game of toxic friendship and unbridled ambition. And as the game being played within the Cloisters begins to spiral out of control, Anne must decide whether she is truly able to defy the cards and shape her own future.
You sound like you're like the David Attenborough of
I kind of went from Posh to London to, I don't know.
It just reminded me of like the nature documentaries went the way that you were reading it.
Yep.
So basically, short and short, girl goes to museum for like an art museum job thing.
I think it was like an internship, wasn't it?
Yeah,
something like that.
Didn't get the internship, wasn't it, or something, and then got into the museum and became part of the Cloisters. Then discovered the tarot and the mysteries within. Dun, dun, dun. So, what format did you all read it in? I mostly listened to the audiobook, to be honest.
Same. I did audio and ebook.
I did physical and audio.
What about you, listener? Physical, hardback. So what rating did you give it? I believe mine came out as a low 5-star on Corpile.
It came out a 3.5 for me.
Yeah, I had a 3.5.
Oh my goodness. Sacre bleu.
And that's being nice. I rated it on a good day. If it was a bad day, it probably would have been 2 stars.
Oh, interesting.
And that's saying something considering how I rate.
So what did you think about the characters?
I didn't really particularly like any of the characters, to be honest. The only, if we had counted the tarot deck as a character, I would have liked that.
Right? Yeah, I don't think I had a particularly I like this character over the others. If I had to choose one, I would say the most interesting was Leo.
Oh, I did not like Leo. I wanted to punch him in the face multiple times.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I wanted to punch him as well, but he seemed the most diverse out of the rest of them. Because you figure you got Patrick, who's the professor, and then you've got Anne, who is the one coming into this museum, and then what was the other chick's name? Rachel?
Yeah.
I didn't like her.
No.
I knew she was bad news from the get-go.
Yeah, as soon as she was described, I'm like, there is something fishy with that chick.
Yeah, Lucy said they were all two-faced, and I agree. They were all.
And I also wonder, because of the way that they all surrounded the tarot card research and stuff, I wonder if that played a part in it, because they get so enamored and so I must find the next piece that it kind of makes them go back and forth. But either way, at the very, very beginning, I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like if I had to pick a character, it might have been just Anne, just because of how she was handling the grief and the guilt from her dad's death. It was relatable, and with how she kind of kept getting drawn in more and more with the whole concept of the cloisters. It seems like something I could relate to, because I can kind of see myself getting drawn in just due to the research behind the tarot and stuff. And I believe just the reason why it got the 0.5-star rating for 3.5 stars for me is because of the tarot.
Yeah. My cover is different. I just don't have the, because mine's really a purpley gold. Yeah.
See, and
I like these.
Yeah. And that's what kind of disappointed me about it being a 3.5 stars, because I was hoping to like it more because I wanted a pretty cover, to a reason to get the book. Yeah. So I had a pretty cover. But now I just don't feel the need to have the book, because it's not something I would see myself rereading.
Right. Yeah. I don't think this is a series, is it?
No, it doesn't show up as a series.
No, I think it's just standalone.
Oh, good. Because if it was a series, I would not continue. This is a nope. Sorry.
So most favorite character, then I suppose you pretty much kind of mentioned.
Yeah.
When you like most, and least favorite, probably Rachel and Leo.
For me, it's just Leo. Period. He just came off sleazy to me, and I didn't like that.
Yeah,
Lucinda said Anne seemed innocent, and then bam, that ending, finding out how her dad actually died.
And honestly, that whole bit just kind of confused me, because I can understand it being a plot twist, but it just kind of seemed like a random pick plot twist. Like, it didn't
Yeah.
really, to me, it didn't feel like it fit very well.
Yeah, it seemed out of place. Like,
Yeah.
why didn't they could have done that in the beginning
Yeah.
or just not put it in there?
I would not be able to tell that's a garden. Patrick is also sleazy lusting after 20-year-olds.
True.
Yeah, he was weird.
Mm-hmm. But he knew his herbs and flowers.
Yeah. But for me, the difference between Patrick and Leo, I think, is just like, I guess, like the social structure. With him being a professor, it didn't seem as sleazy for whatever reason because of the way that Rachel was portrayed. She seemed very like forthright about what she wanted, and it seemed like she was more of the perpetrator than Patrick was to me.
Mm-hmm.
Lucinda said, I didn't think so. The whole idea was painting Anne as the innocent newcomer, but they all were saying how her vibe fitted, and it didn't really show why until then.
I could see it.
What do you all think about the plot?
It could have been more.
Yeah.
I think it left room for more to be desired. I wasn't quite satisfied with that.
Yeah, and I just found it kind of odd because just hearing about, like, when you read the synopsis, I didn't really like automatically think it was going to go down like a mystery thriller type of route. Honestly, I was just, it's like, I understand that that's kind of like part of the course of like dark academia most of the time.
Yeah.
But it's just the way that it was so heavy with the research and of the tarot at the like first half of the book, and then it like abruptly switched to the murder mystery part, kind of. So it just it didn't feel like it flowed as well as I was hoping it would.
I thought it was gonna be more on the supernatural side, not more let's study and find out where we can get these cards.
And even like with the research part of the tarot, the way that it was presented was really dry and wasn't like making me want to engage with it as much as, like, because tarot is like the how I got into witchcraft to begin with. So that was my gateway into everything. So I'm like really fascinated with the history and lore behind tarot, but the way that it was presented in this book just kind of bored me. So
Yep, it was a meh.
I don't know why. Like, I enjoyed it. I don't know. I don't know. I liked the dark academia feel to it as well.
Yeah,
it was very atmospheric.
that part I do agree that it was done really well. Like with the setting up as it being dark academia, it definitely had that dark academia feel to it.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, this also kind of goes into like the writing as well. Like, it's very kind of like atmospheric and descriptive in the writing, and like I think that's the sort of stuff that I really like, kind of a really gothic feel to it, and like with the art museum and the mystery of the cloisters, and then suddenly there's just something that happens to the guy, and it's like, oh, and then I don't know. I always like figuring things out as well, so I was kind of interested in that. But I always, at the same time, you know, when you're sort of like, I want to see if I'm right about the vibe that you get from this character. So I was like, I don't, you know, I was thinking that there's something going on with this Leo, this Rachel, and I'm like, something else is going on too. So I just, I liked what happened in the book.
Which I can see it, because at the beginning I had just like slight suspicions of everybody, and then when it kind of like just continued, the way that like the suspicions were confirmed, it just, for some reason, it just didn't sit well with me. But I can see how it can be a good plot for other people. I just think it wasn't the type of book that I needed at like this point in time in my life, probably.
And this is what's good about like, you know, reading books together is like, you know, getting like differences and like, you know, someone like myself who likes the plot and the writing, and then like yourselves who didn't quite like the plot. And yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's always interesting like that. And then there's Lucinda who's given it a 4-star, like who's just, you know,
she's like in the middle.
Like, yeah.
She's the bridge of all this.
Lucinda said, my utterly favourite bit in general was the gorgeous descriptions of everything. It was really atmospheric. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yes.
Reminded me of Nature Witch's type of writing. I haven't read that. But
neither have I.
Yeah, like I can see it. It's been about a year or two since I've read Nature of Witches, but I can see the resemblance between the two.
And mental health rap stuff in there too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What was your favourite part if you had to have one? Like, was there a chapter where you're like, oh, this is actually okay? Or like, is it just in general the dark academia stuff, would you say?
Probably just in general the dark academia stuff, but the like one thing that pops into my mind is the whole when they set up to do the readings, like how they set the atmosphere to do the readings.
Lucinda doing in Rachel.
I like when she started discovering that the cards were hidden, like they had a false front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you start putting all the pieces together.
Yeah. Nerds getting one over on the popular kid.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the whole like hidden behind tarot thing as well. That was quite cool. I was like, ooh. Interesting. What about least favourite part?
I don't know. Like, because I think because I've rated it a 3.5, it's everything was just kind of meh. So nothing really like stands out as in like I absolutely hated this. It was just kind of like it's there. It's
Yeah, same. I'm trying to think. I didn't really care for how they killed off Patrick.
Yeah.
Because you would need I think a lot of belladonna just to poison someone like that. But
and that just kind of came out of nowhere too. Like I didn't expect them to try to off somebody because of some plot that was already started.
Mm-hmm.
They did that, and I was just kind of more confused. I was like, why do we have to kill somebody off for what now?
Yeah.
I can't really think of like a particular scene that.
And it's like in that scene, it's not like I like disliked it. I just thought it was like a weird way to kill off a character. It's like you had a candelabra, you could just have like made it a little bit bloodier and like knocked him on the head, not just dose him with more belladonna.
That just kind of made everything like bland. Like if you said if they did the candelabra or hit him over the head and made it a bloody mess, then that's reason
Make it you killed the professor with the candlestick in the library.
Right? But no, just slipping him some extra stuff. That's
Lucinda said it just turning out that the whole thing is Rachel's plan from the beginning was kind of like, oh.
Yeah, I do agree. I didn't really understand like how Rachel herself decided to like plot this whole thing, and how did she hear about Anne to begin with in order to get her into the Cloisters. It's like I didn't understand that at all, but it kind of just went over my head.
Well, and I think at one point they even they said or kind of bounced around the thing that Anne had put the whole thing into motion. She was the one that actually sent the first professor away, so that when Anne showed up, they go, "Oh, well, your guy's not here, so bye-bye." And then, oh, lo and behold, she can join the Cloisters at the same time.
Yeah.
But even still, like, what? How did she know about Anne in the first place in order to set things in motion? Is my question. That's what I have a hard time with.
Like, I get it. The whole thing about Rachel being a master manipulator, basically talking him into ODing.
ODing, yeah.
ODing. 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 She heard about Anne from her professor.
The thing is, they don't really say, like, how, like, she came up in conversation, or, like, why she was certain, like, special or whatever like that. Or at least they didn't talk about her enough to make me go, like, oh, okay, this is what happened.
Yeah, because I would think that Rachel would have to have some sort of connection with Lingraf or her father, who worked together with Lingraf in order to even hear of Anne from Whitman to send her to New York.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's like a lot of hearsay kind of stuff. It's like,
right. I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of questions. Did your cup just flip me off? You have something on the bottom of your cup.
Oh no, it's just
your cup flip me off.
No, it's just the sticker at the bottom of it.
It was done in a way that it looked like you were giving the middle finger, and I was like, what? I mean, there are cups that do that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, what's this? Being good at translating dead language. Yeah, I want to know more about the languages too. They could have added that in there. What Lucinda said about the translating dead languages. They could have added more of that in there. Or even just more language linguists, since she supposedly...
Excuse me, sir. Rude.
Multiple. I know, I heard that from here.
Four-wheeler going by.
That Patrick had with the other professors.
It's possible.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the kind of like plot holes kind of could have been elaborated on more, and like by making the book a bit longer and going into certain aspects. I think I might have liked it a little bit more.
Yeah. So I think my copy was 297 pages roughly. So there's definitely room for they could have expanded on certain aspects and tied up those plot holes, like you said.
Yeah.
Because we don't really hit like the one lady that they met at Patrick's. I would have liked to learn more about her and had her more involved with the story.
Oh yeah, we only see her like what, twice?
Like 2 or 3 times, something like that.
Yeah,
it'd be like 2 scenes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And Moira, we could have seen more about her. She seemed to know all about everything that's happening on at the library.
I just found her kind of annoying because of like I don't really care for gossipy people just in general.
True.
So I'm like, okay, lady, you can shoo. Go on, get.
Would you reread this book?
No.
Like in a few years, or just never?
No, I'm going to unhaul it.
What if somehow they bring out a sequel in like 6 years' time, which they have done with standalones before?
I won't continue it. It got a 3.5.
I mean, as of right now, I don't see myself rereading it, but if I happen to like complete, like enough time has passed and I am in like more of a mystery phase, I could possibly see myself rereading it, but as of right now, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I'll just keep holding my copy for like a little bit, and then if I really aren't not missing it, then I'll probably either like unhaul it, sell it, or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd read it. I don't. Probably not. I don't know.
I don't even think there was much of a mystery, at least to me, because everything seemed like it was just like this happens and this happens and this happens. And oh, by the way, she did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which like, I kind of figured out, like, as we kept going through it, I was like, one of these people did it. Somebody did it. Can't quite pinpoint who yet.
That's why I marked down on like characters on core pile, because like just no.
I honestly don't even remember what all my ratings were for call pile. Let me see if I can. If my computer will let me look at it.
I liked the writing and the plot, and that I was intrigued, but enjoyment was the least rated. That's why it's like a low 5-star. Like it's almost a 4. Like I think if I put either characters or atmosphere down by like 1, I think it would be a 4.
That was how, like, Ninth House was like that though too. I didn't like Ninth House that much either. I think Ninth House got a 3 as well.
See, for me, with Ninth House, I thought there was more there's more action going on, and more active, in like investigating, which kept it moving for me. This kind of, if I didn't have the audiobook and if I wasn't making myself read 50 pages a day in book club reads currently, it would have probably taken me like a lot longer than it did to get through it.
No. Even with Ninth House though, when I read it, I don't know, I just meh. But I see what you're saying. Like, they keep you moving because there was a lot more action and stuff going on. But I don't know. It's Ninth House would be like here, and then like the Cloisters would be underneath. They're like really close together, and just
right. Yeah.
Yeah, Lucinda said she might reread it in time, and she said that's how Ninth House was like too. The whole being an overarching plot.
Okay, so my call pile rating for it is characters 6, atmosphere 7, writing 7, plot 6, intrigue 7, logic 6, and enjoyment 7.
So 6s and 7s.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is this now?
It's the rating system that G from Book Roast had set up, which has a rating tracker that you can rate certain aspects of a book between 1 and 10 to figure out what like a star ratings and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, she just created like a Google kind of like Excel document where you put like the title of the book and the author and
I don't
how many pages they are.
Yeah, I don't use it currently because Allie with Hardback Quarters, she incorporated that in her most recent spreadsheet. So I've been using that to kind of base off my ratings.
So would you buy this for somebody else?
No.
I think someone who would be into dark academia, like the heavy academia side, probably.
I will gift them my copy if they want it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of people that are in like my drama group, and they were intrigued by the plot, so I might like lend it to them, if any of them want to read it. But hello, Laura.
Hello.
Oh, I didn't like the book. I didn't have to. Oh wow, all differences in this place.
I could have done that easily, but I kind of forced myself to finish it. I wanted to make sure
when it's a book club read, you feel like you really want to push through those books.
Yeah.
unless we physically can't. But yeah.
Because I don't think anything really starts until like after 100 pages in. And that's kind of my threshold, is if things don't start to pick up, then it's got to go.
Would you read another book by the same author?
Maybe.
Depends on
I'm just
the
checking to
genre.
see if they've got any other books written or in development. I'll just have a look.
I think when I looked at it, I could have sworn she was a debut, but I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
What? Is that due to come out?
This is where she tells us there's a sequel.
I'm not even joking. There's a book on Goodreads, but it doesn't say the date. It literally says "In Cloisters Dim." I've no idea, like, if that is published by Berkeley Printing. What? I've no idea. The Cloisters, In Cloisters Dim. What? I am unsure about that. It doesn't have any book details at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with Lucinda. If it ends up being more supernatural, maybe, and like I would give her another chance. But I try to at least give authors 2 to 3 chances with their writings, unless you're Stephanie Meyer. But that's just me.
Yeah. Well, let's see what this In Cloisters Dim ends up being. But as far as I'm aware, this is their only book written, according to Goodreads anyway.
Ouch.
So yeah, we'll see. Would you like another book from the world? Or I suppose a sequel?
No, not a sequel. And there's not really much of a world other than it being set in like New York. It'd be interesting to see like if it's set in like a different like museum type. I wouldn't mind having that. Like learning more about like different museums.
And Lucinda's probably going to say something similar if it ends up being more supernatural.
Yeah.
Writing on the mat.
Or like going to Chicago and doing like ones set in the museums in Chicago.
That's what I mean. What if this now becomes like she just has like companion novels and it's called the Museum Collection?
Mm-hmm.
What books would you recommend that are quite similar?
Oh, Ninth House. If you want more action, but still within the dark academia genre.
I haven't read it, but isn't Deadly Education dark academia as well?
I think that's more of like a magic school type of setting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Thinking that one was dark academia, but I didn't know if it was like magic or similar to these.
I think the whole thing is like the main character has to try to survive her years in the school or something like that because of the monsters that are roaming around. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's probably way more active than this one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Can't think of any others that would be on the same level as this one. You've got mail.
Are there any other comments you'd like to talk about that we haven't discussed? Same, Lucinda. I want to read more Dark Academia because after reading this, I'm quite intrigued in the Dark Academia stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Atlas 6 is on my agenda.
Yeah, I think maybe the Atlas 6. And would you consider Addie LaRue being kind of in the same vein? Not so much Dark Academia, but kind of in the same like vibes.
I don't know. I haven't read it.
Yeah,
It's on my list.
What book's that, sorry?
Addie LaRue.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah, I've not. No, I haven't yet.
What you got for us, Lucinda?
I think you guys did miss some of the stuff that I noticed, but I literally just read it today. What did we miss?
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. Picking up
about
on what we missed.
I mean, we could talk about Leo stealing from the museums and selling herbs on the side. I know we didn't talk
when that was first introduced, I was like, and we're supposed to care why?
Listener said we have already talked about it, like the provenance thing.
What did you guys think about like how Rachel's parents died and like the whole boating accident?
Mysterious. Like something was not quite right. Very, I don't know. Reminds me of like Vampire Diaries when like Elena was also in the car and her parents drowned.
Yeah. I don't know. Like
there's
I didn't think much of it at the time when they mentioned it, and I was just like, "Oh, that sucks." And then like later on, finding out that she kind of set it up so that her parent, and I was like, "Well, that's cold and heartless."
Yeah, I was like, don't like you even more now.
Yeah. It's like at first I'm like, oh, that stinks, and then kept going on, and then it gets revealed that like closer to the end, and I'm like, huh, I know there was something fishy about her.
Well, and the thing is too is like how bad does your life have to be in order for you to off your own parents?
Yeah, like
what was her reasoning behind it? Why did she feel the need to do it?
She's just crazy psycho, isn't she?
Money hungry.
Yes, we found out that one.
It's big on the art scene having to have provenance with it to prove something is original.
I mean, yeah, you have to know your stuff if you're going to do that kind of work, because there are a lot of fakes in the world of art.
Yeah.
But
Rachel did it is the answer.
And I kind of thought that like Leo was just a more of a diversion than anything. It's like, yeah, he was there to help Rachel steal stuff and to like earn money and stuff like that. But he didn't really seem all that important to the story to me. Like you could cut him out and find a different way of like adding more to the actual story that doesn't involve like a dude having like a love triangle kind of setup going on, and pretty much like a true love triangle. And I kind of wished like even with him being in the story, I wished the like love triangle part was more like fleshed out, and them being like a true like poly couple. That would have been interesting to have that representation in there.
Well, and the thing too is like I would have liked it to be more fleshed out because everything was so cryptic. Like they're like, did they? No, I don't know if they did. Maybe. No. And I'm like, just spit it out already. I wish they would have done it. Like if they go, yeah, we had, or this is a thing, but no, they were just like,
Well, it's like when they both were like interested in Anne, and then Anne was curious about that and how she was the thought of them being together excited her. That made me wonder, it's like, oh, is this going to be a throuple kind of moment? Because that would be kind of cool to have, because you don't see that a whole lot in like dark academia stuff.
Right.
What do you guys think about like the end of like Rachel?
I thought that was too neat of a wrap up for me.
Oh, when they did Rachel in? Yeah. That was very much a here's the box, there you go.
Yep.
I wish they would have done it a little messier, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be exactly the same way that her parents went.
I think maybe my whole issue with this book is just that of how short it is. It's like I want more from the story. And I feel like it would have gotten a higher rating if there was more to it.
It definitely could have been longer. We could have fleshed out a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of like the downside of, or like some downfall to like debut novels for some authors, is they possibly get edited down so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we need more info, please.
Yeah.
I need more plot.
That is very true.
But I'm also kind of in that reading era where I am wanting more like thicker books and more plot than anything.
Yeah. For me, I don't know why, I thought it was really weird, especially like how it said. It was like, oh, apparently she was sailing to a small island on Long Lake, but she didn't check that the plug was in, and it wasn't, and the boat took on water, and she didn't have a life preserver on board. She tried to swim ashore, but a storm rolled in, and I'm just like, something doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I just feel like something really doesn't add up with that.
And it's like with that, it just felt like more of a thing where Rachel, it could have been played off as a suicide instead of Anne killing her off.
Yeah. Because they could have, especially with Rachel trying to have so much control, they could have done the suicide. Oh, Anne left and she went down that path. But I don't know. They could have done so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just so like that's what I was kind of like, is like there going to be a sequel or something, because like that's really weird to kind of like end her life on. Just doesn't add up. Very odd.
But Lucinda, I feel like Rachel would be the type of selfish to commit suicide because it will bring her more attention in the end. She would be the one setting up her demise, and it would be shining a light on her and making people think, oh, poor Rachel, she had died this tragic suicide because of all the stuff that was happening in her life, and she felt like she was losing control, kind of thing.
Yeah. It could have been done very, very different ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't understand why Anne had to do her in. Why? I mean,
yeah, like why she felt like she had to be the one to end it, kind of thing.
Yeah, because I mean, she walks away in the end, so why couldn't she just walk away?
Mm-hmm.
Anne could have. I guess Anne could have like found her again, but at the same time, there's so many different variables that could have gone that way.
Yeah. And I have a feeling if this author was to do a sequel, it would be like in a vein where Anne turns into a Rachel, kind of.
Please no. No, no. No. But no.
It's all about the article. She didn't want to share it. The glory.
Oh, so much no.
But I can kind of see that being the route that an author would take. if they were to continue on like within the same world.
It's almost predictable, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. Because she would become the next Rachel, and then she would have to go find an Anne, and then it would be like a vicious cycle. What if they did it that way, but it was all because of the tarot cards?
Yeah. Or
That
like
would
it
get
kind of
more-
like a curse on the cloisters type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And that or Anne becomes like a Patrick and ends up being killed somehow.
See, we're already rewriting the story. They could have done
it. All right, Katy Hayes, if you're watching this, we've sorted your sequel for you. Get writing. Listen to all of our feedback.
Just send me chocolate, I'll be happy.
Right.
Is there anything else we haven't discussed about the book?
Not that I can think of.
No, I feel like we've covered quite a lot. Anything you can think of, Lucinda, that we haven't spoken about?
I feel like
even Rachel was trying to control the fact when Anne and Leo were in the garden shed.
Oh yeah.
That scene.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
My thing with Anne is, did the police not investigate her dad's death? I just got here if I missed it. That's okay.
I don't think they mentioned anything about that, did they?
No.
Yeah, they didn't really. They just said at the beginning that it was like a car accident.
Mm.
But usually, like, if it was on a dark road and it was like a hit and run type of thing, you'd think they would investigate it more.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it took me a while to realize the skull on the cover, but like, yeah, this.
Yeah.
I saw it right away, but my copy does not have a skull on the cover.
See, it took me a while to realize, because I was thinking, oh, this is a pretty cover and all the buffs and everything, and then until you look really close, then you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of like a play like on the death card, kind of.
It was a hit and run, he told her to go.
Yeah, but even with it, like him telling her to go, you would think that the police would be knocking on their doors to be like, we, like a few weeks later, saying we match the car prints to your car. You're coming with us, kind of thing.
Yeah. We would like to ask a few questions.
Mm-hmm. How did you get the blood on the front of your car?
Mm-hmm. Where were you on this day at this time?
Why is there a skull-shaped dent in the front of your car?
Yep. We've noticed some paint scratches from your car on another car. Care to elaborate on that?
How did this hair get in the grill of your car?
You got a face in your car. Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap the book chat up and talk about what this month's book is. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I don't actually know what it's about.
I just know that it's a contemporary romance, and that's about it.
Yeah, I just know that it's very popular, and it's like a first book in a series, and it's quite highly popular on.
All I know is it seems like she gets cut off from her funding, and then she gets shipped somewhere or goes somewhere, and then things happen.
Yeah. Bow chicka wow wow stuff happens.
As long as they don't do that, we're gonna show you, but then we're gonna fade it out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'll probably start my copy on Monday.
Same. I want to read that before I read Cherish. Because if I read Cherish, I know I'm going to bawl my eyes out.
I started Wolf Song today. Like, I'm only a few pages into Wolf Song, so I want to try to get a decent chunk into that for readathon. And then I plan on setting up my 50 pages a day in the book club book.
That's a good idea.
I don't know when I'll start reading Have More Summer, because I'm also reading another adult cheeky lit book at the moment anyway. So I might break between it and read maybe a short book. I don't know.
I'm reading a short book now, and it's dual perspective. Quite interesting. It's called Mated to the Dark Elf.
I started and finished. Well, I started yesterday and finished earlier today. Stone Blind by Katy Roberts, which is a Medusa and Calypso romance. It was pretty good.
I'll have to look that one up.
Unless I get it in the supermarket, I'll probably skip it. I think it's in the works for really cheap.
I have a e-arc copy of it from NetGalley. So
£3 in the works. I think I saw it for, so it's a bargain. I think it's £3. I remember seeing it, and I was like,
Legends and Lattes was really good.
Yeah, she texted me a picture of it. I'm like, did you get me one too? She did not, which is very rude. Bad sister. Shame, shame, shame.
And then you can watch the live. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm. See? Ta-da!
That's what I usually do is whenever I'm trying to kind of like go through some backlogs of like booktube channels, if I see it on their lives, if they've discussed a book that I had read previously, I actually watch the discussion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I finally read Ninth House, I'll go back. I don't know why, like, part of me wanted to read it, and then the other part of me was just like, not really in the mood for it just yet. So, yeah, I was like, I'll just push forward with Legends and Lattes and the Cloisters, which I do want to read.
I think that's one of the ones I have to review still. Like, I have a lot of book reviews to film.
I was already planning on doing the series reading vlog for Ninth House and Hellbent. So I'm like, hey, this is perfect timing. So I was going to read it anyways.
But it is on my list this month, so whether I get to it, who knows? We shall see.
I already had read The Serpent's Kiss for my book club, and it ended on a big cliffhanger, and I am angry at the book gods right now.
I just got those, the first and second book from my library, so
they're really like easy to read.
Yeah. I have the audio book too.
Like that's one thing I can say about Melissa Dela Cruz's writing is it's really easy to read.
Yeah.
And me and Clint were talking in the live show on Sunday for Witches of East End about how there are spin-off series for the Blue Blood series, how like her series, because one of the vampires in that series is in Witches of East End, or at least just like briefly mentioned in it. And I didn't realize that she had 2 more books come out, or at least 1 more book and another book about to come out of the Blue Blood series. And now I'm like, how did I not know this? I need to read this.
I think she also wrote the Disney Descendant books.
I think so, yeah.
I read the first one, but apparently the way they set it up is you have to read the first book, then watch the first movie, and then second book, second movie, and so on and so on.
Interesting.
Because it kind of goes back and forth. So the movies are in between books 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3, so on.
Yeah. Yeah, and like my sister said, the Witches of East End universe books, because there's, after this trilogy, there is like a YA spinoff. Like there's like a duology after.
Oh, like I think it's like Triple Moon and something.
Something like that. It's like her book series, at least some of them tend to be like interconnected somehow. So
I think I have one of them. Yeah. Let me see if I can reach it without hurting myself.
yeah, don't do that. You've had enough of that.
This one.
Yeah.
I will have to read it. Oh, this one says it has the short story finale to Witches of East End TV series. Oh.
The
All right.
TV series is one I have to add to my watch later list, my ever growing watch later list, since all I do is rewatch stuff.
Where is that? Is that on Netflix or Hulu or something?
I honestly do not know.
Right now, I'm watching Witcher, so
I just started my like 4th or 5th rewatch of The Secret Life of American Teenager.
Oh, I've just started the new season of Never Have I Ever.
so many shows, so little time.
Mm-hmm.
So many shows, so little time.
Same goes for books.
So many shows, so little time. I am just putting the poll up for July.
Are we doing 3 or 4 books this time?
Well, we chose one each, didn't we, from our list? So I
Yeah.
think it's quite easy to choose from the 3, isn't it?
I think Witches was a CW show. I think. So I'm not entirely too sure.
You would know more than I. I didn't even know it was a show.
And Lucinda, this time around, I didn't realize how cringy The Secret Life of American Teenager was until this time.
It is really cringy. I remember when I tried to watch it the first time. I was like, wow, this is pretty cringy.
I loved it in high school. I don't know why I loved it so much in high school, but just rewatching it, I'm like, oh, this is really cringy. Like over dramatic acting. And I'm like, oh.
Mm-mm.
But it's like one of those guilty pleasure type of shows for me. And it also probably helped that the main character was a band person like I was. So I think that was one of my major reasons why I watched it. Me being in band at the time.
Mm.
I like how this whole time Mocha's been in loaf mode, just passed out.
Hello, Kitty.
Poke.
Kitty, Kitty. She says, "Why do you do that to me, human?"
She yells at me all the time, so it's only fair for me to bug her from time to time.
What is your thoughts on the book, Kitty?
The boy.
Lucinda says that, and I immediately picture the movie American Pie.
Yeah.
This one time at band camp.
This one time at band camp.
Things happened.
Yeah, that's my main gripe about that show is that whole thing, because my experience with band camp is we didn't stay at band camp. We went home at the end of the day, and it was nothing but sun and practicing drills and music the whole freaking time.
Mm.
All right, guys, the poll is up to vote for July's book between Belladonna by Adeline Grace, Legendborn by Tracy Dion, and If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. So go vote. It's up for a week.
I don't know what I'm going to vote for.
I know, it's quite difficult, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If We Were Villains is on my 23 for 23 list, and I barely read anything off of that list.
Oh, I need to check my list and see if I've read anything. If not, I need to get on that.
Yeah,
I only did 12 books though. I did 12 and 23. Because I was like, I'm not trying to do 23 and 23, so we'll just pick 12 and one for each month.
Yeah, see, I do 10 and I still do badly at that.
Who says Belladonna has gone viral? Maybe I
yeah, I've seen it everywhere. I like making lists of books, not so much completing them, but I like making the list.
Yeah.
Nice. So, is it your channel, Sam, for July?
Yes.
So it will be Sam's channel somewhere through half the month. I think.
We've been doing what, the second Saturday?
Something like that, yeah.
So the 8th.
The 8th?
July.
So yeah, the 8th of July. Same time, Sam's place.
Yeah, really.
For it happened one summer at Sam's place.
I hope not. I have enough people popping up at my place. I don't need any anymore.
This one time at Sam's place.
Yep.
Well, we know what you'll be voting for then, Lucinda.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's got a really pretty cover as well, and I have seen it going around.
Which one?
Belladonna.
Oh yeah, I
And
can
also,
see that one.
Like the sequel, like as well, Foxglove, I want to say.
Yeah, you would know better than me. I have no idea.
I don't know. It popped up. I don't know. I've seen it. Belladonna. Yeah, Foxglove. I don't know if Foxglove is out.
But if you take the cover off,
Ooh, that's pretty. Nice.
so now I'm really interested to see.
Yeah, Foxglove, literally, the sequel comes out in August. So if we do end up enjoying it, there is a sequel.
Dang. I said I wasn't going to start any more series this year.
I'm pretty sure, isn't Belladonna a
YA?
Fairy Loot book, I want to say?
That's what Lucinda says. She said you should have it too from Fairy Loot.
Yeah, so, yeah. I'm going to say it's got a different cover. It's
There's the end pages. I know, this is a really good book. Cute book.
very pretty. It's a pretty damn book there, God there.
And the cover is like that buttery velvetiness.
Yeah, my sister's correct. Making books list and reading them is like getting craft supplies and using them. It's two completely different things.
Yep.
Same thing as buying books and reading the books that you buy.
Mm-hmm. I have so many cross-stitch little kit things.
I have so much yarn in my closet right now that I had gotten chewed out by Jordan the other night when I brought more free yarn home from Knit Night. So, yeah.
The Foxglove King was on Alicia's list of books as well.
It was.
She just chose Belladonna.
Yep.
Too many books to choose from, so we're like, let's just choose one each from our lists.
Yeah.
I know. I can't read them all at once, otherwise,
Yeah, if only.
Yeah, I almost forgot to even send the list because the day that you guys had messaged the group chat, when I got to work, not even a few minutes later, my regional manager walked in. So I'm like, well, I can't bring up Goodreads right now while he's here. So it's got to wait.
Yep.
Another death magic thing. Ooh.
What's another death magic thing?
Foxglove King, I believe.
Oh, Jesus. Now I really want to read that one.
Well, it's too late now. I've put the
I
poll
know. No, listen, I got a list as long as my arm and then some.
And if you don't get to read it in July, you can put it forward for August.
Yeah.
If you can remember by then. It's only 1 month. But yeah, I think we shall wrap it up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to everyone who joined, and for your comments, and for reading the book with us. As always, it's been a pleasure. Whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it, at least it's another book read.
Mm-hmm.
This is very true.
And hopefully you can join us with It Happened One Summer. We shall see. It's quite a chunky, actually. It's like almost 400 pages, I think.
Oh, really? I only have the E-arc, so I don't know the page count on the
This
E-arc.
copy just says 397 pages. You could have made it 400, come on. But yeah, we shall see. I'm sticking to this seat because it's leather. It's just hot. But yes, hope you all have a good day. Thank you to the other lovely co-hosts for joining me, as always. And yeah, we will see you in about a month's time on Sam's channel. Bye from me.
Bye.
I can't wave and end.